Hello, my name is Samantha, and welcome back to another Embedded Systems workshop. Today, you'll be building a circuit with an LCD and using it to display text. The slides, schematics, and other resources can be found in the description below. Let's get started.
So, welcome to our third workshop and third embedded systems workshop. And today we're going to be covering the liquid crystal display, which is this guy right here. If you can see my camera, it's this guy right here. All right. So the purpose of this project is to introduce our LCD screen and use it to print text. So our main project is going to be what we call the Hello World project. So make sure you guys all have your kits before we start. So the idea here is simple. We're going to make an LCD to display a message and then display the number of seconds since it wrote that message. So here's the list of parts we'll be using during this lesson. We're going to be using the Arduino control board. You need a USB cable if you want to power it. The breadboard, the LCD display, a 330 ohm resistor, which from what I'm seeing, the resistor is actually not necessary, but what I'm seeing is the resistor is actually not necessary, so probably going to end up. So I don't think you'd have to use it. Next is a potentiometer. You will find this in your kit in two pieces. You'll find the base here, looks like this, and you'll find the knob. Assembly is really simple. Just put the knob into the base. And then you're going to need the mother load of these male-to-male jump wires. You're going to need a lot of them for this project. The LCD takes up a lot of wires, and it takes up a lot of breadboard real estate too. So let's start with a bit of review. You guys remember this breadboard, right? So just a quick review on how the breadboards work, where they connect to. So on this, in the centerpiece here, it's the rows here are connected horizontally, but so let's see if I place a wire here, then I place another wire here in there. So if I place two wires there, these two will be connected, but this does not cross the center divider. So if I place this wire here, they're not connected. Then on the sides here, these vertical strips are connected along their length. So if I put this wire here, assuming it'll let me go in, there we go. I place another wire all the way down here, once again, which is on the positive rail, on the red rail, let's say. Now these two wires are connected. It's generally good practice to have the power input connected to this red rail and your ground pin connected to the blue rail. You don't have to do it, but it's generally good practice to do it. Next up, just a quick review of resistors. Resistors slow the electric current, control where and how fast that current goes. The resistor is measured in ohms, and then the stripes on the resistor will tell you what value the resistor has. For example, the one in the picture here, we have a yellow stripe, a purple stripe, an orange stripe, and this guy right here. This tolerance stripe here. Our first digit, we have 4, 7 times 1,000. So 47 times 1,000. So this is a 47,000 ohm resistor. And then we also have, and the potentiometer I mentioned earlier is essentially a variable resistor. Right. So potentiometer here, it's essentially a variable resistor. You can change how much resistance is being applied by simply twisting the knob. It's useful for things like adjusting brightness, adjusting the power tuning, etc. And for the purposes of this This project, we're going to be using the potentiometer to adjust the brightness of the LCD screen. Now onto the project. So, an LCD screen, or a liquid crystal display, it's a type of screen that can display images by varying the brightness and the color of the light shining through its backlight through a set of filters. LCD displays are, you'll see them on pretty much any, let's say, TV, phone screen, computer monitor, pretty much anything that has a screen, almost always will be, nowadays at least, almost all of those will be an LCD screen. So our LCD here, so how this one works is we have 16 across, 2 down. Each one of these can display a character. And a character is just a letter, number, or symbol. So we have a total space for 32 characters on here. So we'll show you first how to wire it, then how to write a message and display other info on it. First is building the actual circuit. So for this, I am going to turn on my doc cam, and we'll go through this. Now, I do not like how Google Meets makes it unintuitive for that. Okay, now just gonna unfold this guy here. That's upside down. There we go. So first, I'm gonna start with our breadboard and our LCD screen. I should probably actually this slightly. Yeah. First we have our breadboard and our LCD screen. LCD screen, we're just going to plug that straight into the breadboard. It may take some time to just force the thing in, because you're trying to stick in, what, 16? Yeah, 16 pins. You're trying to stick all of them in at once. And sometimes the breadboard and the screen will not cooperate in trying to place them in. There we go. Got it in. And if it really does not want to cooperate, don't force it. Don't force it. You do not want to break this thing. We'll have the Arduino here, just sitting here. And here's where all of these wires come in. So we're going to work from left to right here. So first, what is that? Yeah, you can see that. Okay. So first wire, so I'm going to pick all right, so first things first, actually, let's link our positive and negative terminals. So first wire here is going to go into the 5 volts on the Arduino. Going to go into the 5 volts on the Arduino. Is this jumper wire? I don't know what's up. This jumper wire has a really long pin. I don't know why, but 2 very long pins. That one's going to go into 5 volts. Now we're going to connect that to our red rail here. Next, I recommend either a blue or a black wire for this. I'm going to choose a blue one. Connect our, I'm actually going to put this over. Yeah, you know what? Actually, given how the circuit is set up, I'm going to move this LCD to the other side of my breadboard. Just because of how the circuit is set up. Get in there. Get in there. There we go. So that goes in here. This red goes into the red rail here on the bottom. If you have the breadboard flipped around, the red rail is going to be top. And then blue wire here will go into the blue rail here. And connect it to any of the 3 ground terminals. I'm just going to connect it to the one next to the 5 volt, but there are 3 ground pins on the Arduino. There's one right here, and there's 2 right here, and then there's one here. You can connect this to any of the 3. It does not matter which one. I'm just connecting it to this one. Next up, first pin on the LCD. This one here. This one here goes straight into ground. Second one goes straight into our assuming that'll get straight into our power rail. And they'll stay in there. And then we have 4 wires here. We have 4 pins here that need to connect to the Arduino pin. So this first one, so the third pin here, working from left to right, this third pin here goes into the number 12 pin on the Arduino. The fourth one in here, geez, that's a long wire actually. Actually, yeah, I'm going to use a shorter wire for this. This one goes into the Arduino number 12 pin. The fourth pin on the LCD, that goes into the number 11 pin on the Arduino. And then the next two, the 5th and 6th pins, go to pin 10 and 9. So this one here goes into, actually I'm going to save that wire. First, so the 5th pin here, that goes into the number 10 pin, the number 10 pin on the Arduino. And the last one here, number 6, and 6 on here, the 6th pin, that goes into the number 9 pin on the Arduino. Then we skip 4. We skip 4 pins here. So what I'm actually going to do is we're going to start working. So starting with the rightmost pin, actually, just to make sure, because we're skipping 4 pins in the middle, and I think it's best if we go back from right to left on this side. So the rightmost pin, it goes, assuming that won't go in, that'll go into our ground rail. The next one goes right into the power rail. The third pin going from right to left here, that's where our potentiometer comes in. So plug the potentiometer in, crossing the middle divider. Remember, and so plug the potentiometer in across the potentiometer, across the center divider, sorry. Across the center divider, like so. Make sure that across the center divider. Connect one of these 2 pins on the potentiometer. That upside down. That upside down. That's upside down. That's good. Okay. Is that good? Oh, it's mirrored. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is what happens. This is what happens when you don't pay attention to what you do to the camera. Like, come on. How do I undo it? Okay then.
For us, the potentiometer is on the right.
Yeah, potentiometer here. That was it. So apparently, this entire thing on here was mirrored when I was displaying it. I did not catch that sooner. Oy. Anyway, so connect. Anyways, back to the potentiometer on the right here. Well, it'll be on the left here. Connect one pin to the ground. Either pin. It does not really matter what pin you use. Second pin goes into the power rail. So the 2 bottom pins here, one goes into the power, one goes into the ground. Why do I have them both connected to ground? Doesn't matter which one goes into which. Just determines the direction you'll turn it to change the brightness. Then our middle pin, which is on the other side of the center divider, that goes into the 3rd pin on the right of the LCD, which would be on the video. It shows the left. I don't know. I need to probably change that in the settings, assuming I even can. Okay. I just say mirrored by default. Anyways, not doing anything. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess that doesn't matter. Okay. All right. Next up, we have 3 more. Now we have 3 more pins. that fourth pin on the right of the LCD, that goes into the number 7 pin on the Arduino. This fifth one, I'm going from the right. That one goes that one goes into the ground. And then the last one goes into the number 8 pin on the Arduino. If you set this up right, the four pins in the middle of the LCD, those ones should be empty. They shouldn't be connected to anything. I need to change some things in my. Okay. All right, so any questions on how to set up the circuit, besides the fact that my dock camera, for whatever reason, is mirrored? I need to change that. All right, any changes to, any questions about the setup? Take that as give me a moment. I'm going to briefly change the position of my dock cam. This is annoying. Because this thing is annoying me. Wait, wow. Let's see. Why is that still mirrored? Oh yeah, I gotta figure this thing out. No.
Sarah, maybe you can lead them through the diagram. So if you had Stefan pinned to your screen, just unpin him for now while he looks at that. The presentation should be up. So the LCD diagram schematic is the exact same as what Stefan just showed you how to build.
This thing is not cooperating.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just gonna have to. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to deal with the fact that this is gonna be just mirrored all the time then.
No worries, I'm joining late, Kiana. Maybe post the slide. Today we are doing an LCD a circuit with LCDs. Oh no. Hopefully she'll come back. Stefan, if you want to go into the next part of the slide.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now, what you gotta do is get the code from GitHub. So we go to the GitHub. The link will be on the. You can press this. You can click this link. We're on the slides. I've already got the. Already got all my code downloaded. So. Okay. Okay. So, what you gotta do is grab the starter code from GitHub. Just click this link and click this link here. I recommend going on the slides. Click this link to get the starter code and download the starter code. The instructions should be just read these instructions. Click on the slides, download that starter code, and we're on. And next thing to do. All right. So setting up that Arduino. So first, find and open the Arduino on your desktop. Click a file in the top left corner and click Save to save it as LCD test. Next thing you're gonna do, my camera on. What's that? Next thing you gotta do, this is pretty standard for any Arduino project. Next thing you're gonna do, which is pretty typical for any Arduino project. So let me get this camera angled right. Take the USB cable. This end goes into the Arduino. The other end goes into the USB port on your computer. As you can see, stuff is lighting up because it's got power. And this thing. Okay. All right. Next, in your tools window, make sure that the board has been recognized and the port is COM something. It's most likely to be COM like 3, 4, 5, or what have you. Next thing to do is we're actually going to include a library. The first thing to do, we go to, I'm actually going to show you guys how to do this. Let me open up an Arduino window. This. All right. So I'm going to share my Arduino window now. Give me a moment. And let's see. Arduino. All right. This one. All right. So what I'm going to do is go to Sketch, include a library, include liquid crystal, assuming that one isn't there already. All right. So first, what we got to do, they want me to highlight all that. Sketch, include library, and we got to add a zip library. So now we're on here. I think that's showing that. Yeah. First things first, though, you'll have to download the Liquid Crystal I2C library, which again, there's a download link on the slides, which I will probably do. Then you have to navigate to that, which I'm going to download that real quick. Let me go download that. Think about it real quick. Save as. I'm going to save it to my downloads just to make this simple. Make this nice and easy. All right, now sketch, include library, add a zip library. Then I'm going to go to my downloads. And then I should have it. Should be, let's see where to go. There it is, Liquid Crystal I2C. I already have that. Since I already have that, I don't really need to include it. So, anyone need help with downloading and including the library? yeah, potentiometer case. That might be in a plastic baggie. Let's see if I can find mine. Assuming I even can. Is that it? Hold on. Can I find it? Oh, the up still on my LCDs. Oh no, I just spilled all my LCDs into the kit. Yeah. Wow. Thank you. And once you're all set up with that LCD library, go ahead and just type the word "done" in the chat, so I know that you've got it set up. Called an archived library. I think that should be correct. Okay, so it looks like this only includes one potentiometer. I'm not gonna be able to find it, but all right. So let's see, unplug this guy. So Ronit, this is what the base of the potentiometer looks like. It's gonna be mostly circular, and then it's gonna have this little hole in the center. That's where the stick goes. That's where the knob goes. Ow. The edges are sharp. Ouch. Nope. All right. Anybody need help with anything else here? Okay, cool. You got it. Okay. All right. Are we good to move on? Okay. Now, moving on. Make sure you guys have the starter code download from the GitHub. Open that up. So, I believe I am sharing my Arduino screen. Is that correct? Okay. So this is what that Arduino. That's what the starter kit should. That starter code should look like. All right. So, process to upload it is pretty simple. Verify it first. Make sure it's COM5. All right, compiled. Then I'm going to upload it.
I want to maybe go through what each part of the code does. I think that would be a good idea.
Okay. So these chunks of code. So this this part here, include this line of code here that's what initializes the LCD library. This is the library called Liquid Crystal. We have a couple of strings here. We have a couple of strings that you can write. So basically, what we'll end up doing here. This is one of our starter. So what this does actually, so this starter code, what it does is going to print girls who code was here, as you can kind of see on my LCD screen. So this one here sets up the LCD, and these numbers are the pins that it's connected to. And these pins do have to be specific numbers. In our void setup, this begins the LCD with the number of columns and rows, which is 16 by 2. Next up. Now this is actually what's going to print our code. This one here prints. So we have here, this prints our the girls who code on the top line. This one prints the was here on the bottom line. This chunk here prints the the little dots here, the dot that comes. And then this one just clears the LCD. Here's one of the starter codes that we have. I believe this is the starter code that we got. Let me check. And let me check just to be 100% certain of that. Yeah, Hello World variation is the one I have. And then the second code, which has the same startup, this one's just called Hello World. So I'm going to make real quickly, I'm going to make a new file here. Make a new tab here. Make a new tab. New code. Now I'm going to upload this one. This is just a standard Hello World. Oh. I did not apparently copy a semicolon here. Never mind. Hold on. That's the same. Oh, hold on. Okay, something is up with this code. Something is up here. Give me a second to diagnose this. Because in theory, that should work. It should be the exact same. Oh, I see. I see the issue. Okay. Instead of a new tab, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new one. Yeah. All right, I'm going to real quick shift over to the new window. All right, let me real quick share my Hello world. There we go. Okay. Just verify this guy. Just make sure it all works. Oh, this is the wrong code. 1 second. The wrong code. Let me, there we go. There we go. Let's upload that. All right. And you may have to adjust the brightness of your, you may have to adjust your potentiometer to get it to get the proper, I'd say, brightness. So now what this is doing is it's printed hello world to this LCD, and it's counting up the number of seconds since I started that. All right. Anyone want to show me? Does anyone want to show me a working LCD? This, or does anybody have any questions that would like answered? You can all see that I need to reduce the exposure on that. Good grief. Let me lower the brightness so you guys might be able to see it. Never mind. Okay, right.
Not sure if that works. Cameras don't really pick up the screen very well.
Yeah, they don't tend not to.
But if your LED lights up, that's a good sign. It may just be that you need to adjust your potentiometer.
Yeah. You know, these cameras tend not to. Oh, there we go. You guys can see that, right? Oh, geez, I set my exposure all the way down. Hmm? Unknown exit status. What is an unknown exit status? 1 second. Oh, that's just a message that unknown exit status is just a message that tells you something. No, there wasn't actually a problem. I don't think there was, at least. That was just a problem with that was just a problem with my IDE, and I just fixed it by opening a completely new window. Yeah, I think it has to do with the compiling. So this compiling sketch, and then it'll probably display an error message down here if there is one. And it'll tell you where the specific error is. LED pin. LED pins. Or the LCD pins. I mean, like connecting it to the breadboard. Yeah, it tends not to cooperate. You might have to give it a little bit of force to shove the LCD into the breadboard. All right, Claire, let me help you out here. So I'm going to deliberately induce an error here. This would give me an error here, exit status 1. And it should tell you where the line is. So hello world, that'll be 1, 2, 3. I mean 7th line. And so the 7th line, we have an error here, means there's a comma or something expected before void. And as you can see, I deleted the semicolon from here. Let's put that back. And that resolves the error. Usually, see if I can reproduce. All right, hold on. Claire, go to tools for me for a minute. See if it's selected to, see if you have it selected to, and your port selected to COM5. Okay, well, I don't think it should be COM5. It should be COM something. Mine is just COM5. Go down to tools, port. It'll be COM something, Arduino Uno. Make sure it's selected. Make sure you have that selected. If it's like COM 3, 4, 6 or something, it should still work. The one just mine said is just COM5. Is your board plugged in? Is your board plugged into the computer? Huh. Lights are on. Okay. The tools, it should say board Arduino Uno, right?